Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the men that are laboring in this truth and sincerity, being occupied in prophecy, as well as a hearty shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered abroad the four winds of the earth, retaining their faith, building themselves up in the sure knowledge of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, and order themselves aright, for that opportunity at salvation. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 9, starting at verse 16. It says, "For though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of." Right? So, at the end of the day, this isn't about us at all. It's about utilizing the gift that the Lord has given us, which, in particular, if you have the name, if you have the understanding of prophecy, if you have the understanding of your heritage, the language, you've been given the gift of faith, right? And now for those of us who, labor and have the ability to teach unto us, have been given that gift of prophecy. And so with that gift, we are to utilize it to the best of our ability, depending on, our level and degree in which we have been, and experience we have been in the faith, And so the point of this lesson, or the spirit that I would like to push, and the message I would like to convey in this particular lesson is that, the objective in this ministry is to teach. All right, no matter what, you got to teach. The Lord has made an investment unto us brothers who have been given the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and as well as the gift of prophecy, to make good use of it. Right, we got to be vessels that are fit for use, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. And the Lord, when He returns, He expects a return on His investment. So we have nothing to glory of, man. We just got to keep doing what the Lord commanded us to do. Yahushua said, "If thou love me, feed my lambs." And He said it 3 times. And as we understand that number 3 represents understanding. So if we really have faith, if we really love Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, if we're really obedient to the Lord and we're of His, then we're going to do just that, right? We're not going to stand idle, all right? And then really, the thing of it is like the different things that we go through on a daily basis, it's all to challenge our position, That's really what it comes down to. The different things that we experience on a day-to-day basis is really them spirits actively trying to throw us off our center. All right, now for us, it's kind of a 2-part situation, because on one hand, Satan as well as lesser demons are trying to, throw us off our center, right? Agitate us, disturb us, and cause us to lose focus, right? These are what these things are designed to do, or attempt to try to do. And by the very same token, they're really a test for us to try to, a test for us personally to see, what we're going to do ultimately, right? How are we going to move in time of, this low degree, right? We got to have patience. That's what the scriptures say. We got to have patience when we're brought to a lower state, and realize that no matter what happens to us and no matter what we go through, at the end of the day, we still have a responsibility to the ministry, right? Regardless to personal feelings. Of course, there's going to come times where you're not going to have that full motivation, all right? But see, you have to learn to work through those situations. You have to learn to work through those thoughts in your head, whether it's, feeling of inadequate or different inadequacies. You've got to build strength. You've got to conquer weakness by first and foremost putting on that full armory that's written about in Ephesians, the 6th chapter. We're going to go through different ailments, physically, mentally, spiritually, right? There's going to be different things that are going to try to cause us to lose our focus, and we just got to work through it, right? It says that for necessity is laid upon me, yeah, woe unto me if I preach not the gospel. And that's, again, just a constant reminder that, this is as serious as life and death. We have been given the gift, as I mentioned earlier, which would be a good time now to get this precept. We've been given the gift of prophecy. We've got to make good use of the talents that the Lord gave us. Whatever level you're on, embrace it and work towards becoming better. No matter what you're going through, there's going to be times, again, where, you're not feeling as strong as you may have. But again, that's a test. We've been set up to defend the gospel. What would we be defending if there weren't those opposing forces, working to, working against what we are trying to build? And that's really the Lord's power at work, The Lord said He made everything double one against another, so good is set against evil, and vice versa. So sometimes you got to learn, man. You got to learn to operate outside of your carnal mind, and that does take experience, because we all get in our heads. we all get in our heads, man. Shoot, there's a lot of times where the reason why you're not doing something is because of your own thoughts that you conceive about yourself. And at the end of the day, man, you got to drop all that and just do what you have to do in the spirit. I hope I'm making sense. It's been a long day. I wanted to do a lesson earlier, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to. But this is what's been on my mind all day, man. All day. Even despite the flesh, trying to throw me off, and I'm not speaking necessarily as clear as I would like to. The spirit in me is strong, and that's because of working through that carnality, working through that carnal man, working through those opposing forces by equipping myself with the full armory, which is through prayer, through faith, reading the scriptures, watching the different exhortations, and we're gonna read that shortly. But that's what's really causing me to continue to keep moving forward, right? Forward progression. So this is as a matter of fact, we're gonna look at both of these, right? Let's start with the top, 1 Corinthians 13:2. It says, "And though I have the gift of prophecy and understanding, or slaki, and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains, and have not charity, I am nothing." Right, so, you got to understand that part of that faith, part of your understanding, all right, it's all centered around having charity as well as brotherly kindness. The book of 2 Peter covers that. In order for you to abound in the work of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, you got to have these different components. They work in tandem, to build you up as well as to build up others. So you need to have all these components, right? And how they work in relation to one another. And that's part of your works, based upon the faith that you have. If you have faith, that it's going to be manifested by the way you conduct yourself, And the next one is 1 Timothy 4:14. It says, "Neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy, with the laying on the hand, or with the laying on of the hands of the presbytery." Presbytery meaning elders. And really, through the ministry of the elders and the apostles and their labor of love through the Spirit, we have been able to receive that gift as well. All right, which is all part of prophecy, right? The Lord said He was going to stir up our pure minds by way of remembrance, and He did that. He did that by the labor of love through our apostles that they have shown through the Spirit. And we've been touched by the Spirit as well to do likewise. So let's go back. It says, for though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of. Right? We don't take glory in ourselves because we understand this is not of ourselves. You know, we got to take ourselves out of that element. Okay? Because it's all about Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua at the end of the day. You know, we're not in it for the fashion of it. Right? We're not in it to boast ourselves in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Of course, we take on a boldness in the Spirit. You know, that's not to be confused with the pride that some do have when they come into the knowledge. But we, okay, that are of a sincere heart, we understand what this thing is truly about, and it's truly about uplifting our people through the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Okay, not of us. Okay, I need salvation. Okay, I need salvation. Right, we all looking to receive that crown, so we need to run that we may obtain the prize, as Paul put it. So, reading on, it says, for though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of, for necessity is laid upon me. Yeah, woe unto me if I preach not the gospel. Right, remember that. You know, this is, again, a matter of life and death. And where I get that from is the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 7. Okay? As a matter of fact, 4 and 7 is good, but the point that I want to read is in 13. This is Proverbs 4 and 13. Take fast hold of instruction. Right? That's this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which is what Proverbs 4 and 7 reads. You know, with all thy getting, get understanding. Take fast hold of instruction, let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life. Exactly. This is our life we're talking about, because what gives us an advantage over the world is our understanding in the instruction of the scriptures. Okay, taking heed to wise counsels, which a wise counsel is what we just read. Woe unto me if I preach not the gospel. Okay, destruction. And isn't that going to be what happens? Isn't that going to be the fate to the people of the world, to the Israelites, for the lack of heeding to proper instruction, coming back onto their heritage as being Israelites, keeping the commandments to the best of their ability, solidifying their faith, okay, by correcting their behavior? Absolutely so. Absolutely so. This is, as a matter of fact, let's see, I can pull it up this way, because I know this is very sensitive. It's case sensitive. So if I misspell anything or I miss one word, it's not going to come up. And just bear with me. I'm a little weary in the flesh, but like I said, man, my spirit is strong. You know, I'm very adamant about doing this lesson, especially considering the precept I just read. Woe unto me if I preach not the gospel. You know, and I do this out of willingness. All right. As a matter of fact, let me go back, because I actually pulled up this word obligation, because in the latter end of that precept it does say, for if it be against my will, what is my reward? Right. I believe that's how it's worded. Yeah, for though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of, for necessity is laid upon me. Yeah, necessity is laid upon us. We've been given the talents. We've been given the gift of prophecy. We've been given understanding. Right? We've been given the spirit and power and strength of the Lord. So we're supposed to use it accordingly. Yeah, woe is unto me if I preach not the gospel, for if I do this willingly, and it is. This is totally willing. Personally, there's nothing that I'd rather do than teach the word. Okay? And we should be prepared at the drop of the dime. As soon as the Spirit comes upon us, man, let's get that lesson in. All right? Where there's opportunity, make good use of it. Right? Let's continue to contribute to that spiritual bank account. Right? Very soon, the airways and the internet is going to be cut off. Pretty soon, we will not be on these highways and byways. So that opportunity is becoming very limited, considering the times that we're in. So don't let the flesh get to you, man. I know. Hey, look, sometimes it can be easier said than done because brothers be getting sick. All right, brothers be getting into their head. Brothers have, all types of situations arise. But again, that's why I'm saying, hey, if we didn't have those opposing forces, what would we have to defend the gospel from? What would we really have to defend the gospel from if those opposing forces weren't set up, okay, to be exactly that, an opposing force? Something that's going to test us, test our wits, test our strength, right? And through those different situations, you learn a lot about yourself. That's what you got to keep in mind. A lot of times when you go through these different things, man, it really brings to your attention your weaknesses. Like, shit, you know what? I got to correct that, man. I need more patience, right? Or I need to, this is something I need to work on. It's really brought to your attention. So that's why I said earlier, like, a lot of times, man, it's a twofold situation. On one hand, yeah, Satan is trying to throw you off your center, see what he could do to try to get under your skin, which is try to overthrow your confidence so you don't do lessons, so you don't actively engage in the Spirit, right? That's one aspect of it. But if you're putting on the full armory, then that don't last too long, okay? Because you're quickly able to overcome, right? That's part of having resilience. As a matter of fact, let me get that real quick. Resilient. It says, of a person or animal able to withstand. Now, isn't it written that if you resist Satan, he shall flee from thee? Another word for resist is to withstand. Okay? To basically be unaffected. So even though you're going through these different things, man, that's where you get that saying, hey, it's not what happens to you, but it's how you react to it. Your reaction is pretty much everything, because you can make a matter worse than it is with the wrong response, or you can make it better by taking a step back, by taking that deep breath, right? Which is where you get that word inspiration from. Right? Take a step back, take a deep breath, or in our case, when we take a deep breath, what are we doing, man? We're thinking about how we need salvation, right? And them thoughts put you back on your center. I need salvation. Let me pray for strength, because I'm gonna need it right now, man. Because hey, man, the things that we go through really can be heavy. Okay, really heavy at times. I'm not trying to minimize any brother's suffering. I get it, man. Shoot, I get it, man. Because we all in this thing together, man. We're frustrated, we're vexed, we're annoyed, we're disturbed, we're pissed off, we're angry. We can't let it get the better of ourselves, though, because we still are on a mission. And the mission isn't over until we're in the chariots. Resilience of a person or animal able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. And see, that's the lot that we're in. So let me go back to this. It says, for if I do this willingly, I have a reward, but if against my will, a dispensation of the gospel is committed onto me. Well, basically, the word here is a steward, okay, to be a manager or an overseer. We'll just get it for edification. Okay, dispensation. I'm just going to go right to the root. I was looking at this earlier. It's comprised of it's a compound word. I'm just going to keep it here. It says steward or manager, and I'm going to just jump to be the manager of a farm. Well, wait a minute. A manager of a farm. What's on a farm? Different variety of animals. In this particular case, what animals? Sheep. Whose sheep? The Lord's sheep. Right? It says that we're the flock of his pasture. All right? And also, we've been set up in the stead of a shepherd, and we have to look after, okay, and tend to the farm, tend to the sheep, and that's via these lessons, man. Manager of a farm or landed estate and overseer. So look, at the end of the day, we have to do this work irregardless. Obligation, an act or course of action to which a person is morally or legally bound. A duty or a commitment. Hey, look, we were bought with the price, man. You know? And if we don't do the work of the Lord, especially being given the gift of faith and the gift of prophecy and having these talents, we're undermining the sacrifice of Yahweh Shai. There's consequences for that, man. This thing is deadly serious. Look at this. A debt of gratitude for a service or favor. A contract or agreement, bro. Look. The Lord his life was laid down on the line so that we could have access, so we would be granted access again back to Yahweh through him as an intercessor. So we could tap back into our power, man. So you need to embrace it. A debt of gratitude. This is our reasonable service, Romans 12. There's no excuse not to be doing this work. Prophecy and information is in abundance right now. There is everything and anything to talk about and filter through the scriptures to teach. The Lord's making it easy for us right now, man. This is what you would call easy money, okay, spiritually. And even Yahweh Shai said, look, his yoke is. Let me see if I can get it. Let me see if I can just get it real quick. We'll come back to first. Well, you know what? That's it. I read that. Right. Con. It says, but if against my will, dispensation of the gospel is committed unto me. Right. So we still have work to do irregardless, and guess what? We're going to receive a reward for that labor. Okay. And that's what continues to build that hope and that momentum behind us. You know, there's a reward coming to us. So let me see. Let me get what did I want to get? Oh, yoke. My yoke is easy. My burden is light. Let's get it verbatim. Here we go. This is Yahweh Shai in the book of Matthew 11 and 28. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Our rest is in the scriptures. This is where our comfort, our motivation, our inspiration, that breath, okay, this is where it comes from, okay, from the truth in which we have so graciously been given. And we're technically in debt to the Most High, all right? So we're obligated, man. But, truth be told, we this is a willingness, like the apostles say. It's something we want to do. We're doing this as a labor of love. We're doing it so we can secure our salvation and, you know, encourage those who will hear us to do the same. Right? Rebuilding the temple. We want the kingdom of heaven. If you want the kingdom of heaven, what are you supposed to do? Teach. Teach. That's what's going to bring us closer. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. So the Lord made it easy for us, you know. But hey, we do have, it can be a difficult task when you think in terms of how this flesh can be. But we still have, all right, the Spirit. We have the gift of faith, right? We have weapons within our spiritual arsenal to overcome these things, okay? But at the end of the day, hey, those different things that we go through in the flesh is designed for us to cry unto the Heavenly Father anyways, to save us up out of this mess, to save us up out of this hell, to save us from our own ways, okay, that aren't right, to save us from this wicked man, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and all of our enemies, and from 2/3. I think that's how it's spelled in the scriptures. It says Philippians 1 and 17. It says, but the other of love, knowing that I am set for the defense of the gospel. So guess what, brothers? This is what we got to do, man. And you know that. You already know that, you know. I don't mean to be preaching to the choir, but, you know, it's always good to encourage and motivate through the scriptures so that brothers, you know, rebuild their strength. You know, we need to sometimes, you know, not sometimes, we need to hear these things over and over and over again, right? Constant repetition. That's what's really establishing us, okay, so that we can make these things habits, right, and take full advantage of it. But we have to continue to do these things to remain strong, all right? It's like spiritual exercise, you know? So let's continue to do what we have to do to secure our salvation and for the sake of the Lord's hopeful elect, okay, which is also something we have to diligently consider, all right? That all things are really done for the sake of the Lord's elect, okay, and that's what we're fighting for. We're fighting for our position. So let's keep it going. You know, Lord's will, you were edified. I'm going to leave it here. Call all Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Rakakwadash. Kwam Yasha'Allah. Rise, Israel. Okay? Shalom.